We are coming at you with a little bit of a different video today. Alex had a consult call last week with a couple in Michigan, you said?
Yes.
And it inspired us to do this video, the 5 things that you should definitely discuss with your partner before building a van together. Partner could be wife, spouse, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, maybe a friend, maybe a mom and a daughter.
Maybe. And say you have already built your van, well, then we're going to talk about 5 things that you should know or do in order to maximize your time on the road together.
And we quickly wanted to say thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Okay, let's jump into this. So again, 5 tips, 5 musts for building a van.
Important topics for sure.
Yeah. And we've got a list. I've got to pull up my phone for this.
So we were actually joking about 3 years ago. 3 years ago? 3.5 years ago?
Our first van? Where are we going back to here?
Our first van, 3.5 years ago. We built our first van 3.5 years ago, which is crazy. And it was a very challenging experience for us. It's amazing we're still here today.
Happily married.
Happily married and alive. So we just wanted to give you guys these 5 tips to help make your process a little bit smoother.
Tip number 1 is to figure out your floor plan and the components that you want to integrate into your van build. Now, this also goes along with tip number 2 that we'll get to in a second, but the thing that you really need to sit down before you even start your van build is figuring out what you want in it and what can you actually fit. Depends on the size of the van that you have. Again, what kind of things are you trying to fit in it? Are you going to do a bathroom? Really get on the same page about this before you start your van build so you're not trying to change things after you already started building cabinetry or benches or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you really want to establish what's the use going to be for your van, because one thing we didn't have was there were not 10 million van tours on YouTube when we were building our first van.
Or like floor plan programs like our own.
Right, so we could only get sucked into a rabbit hole so far.
Yeah.
Honestly, there were more manufactured vans than anything else for us to look at and draw inspiration from. So don't go too far down the rabbit hole. Realize it is a van. When it comes to your layout, keep it simple.
And functional.
And we've talked about this before on multiple videos, but real quick for us, big convertible table bed that we could have sleep comfortably and also work and eat at and play games. So many card games played. Mm-hmm. Also, we wanted an enclosed wet bath.
So that we didn't have to go to the bathroom in front of each other.
Yep, exactly.
This is how we're still married.
A lot of van couples have broken up. And we needed to have a built-in dog crate. Those were like the top things for our first van.
Tip number 2 is to set a realistic budget. Again, you got to get on the same page with your partner. What is it that you can afford? What are you comfortable spending? You can go very inexpensive. You can go extremely high end. There is a huge variety of budgets out there in the van life world. If you're building your own van, you will be saving money because you're doing the labor. But maybe you're gonna hire out, the electrical part of the plumbing. Again, setting your budgets and setting realistic expectations for that budgets will really avoid some fights down the line.
You're still gonna fight about it, so just get ready for it. Because set your budget and then try to stick to it, but understand that maybe some things are gonna be more expensive. So set your budget, go back, price things out, have a consult call with somebody who is a van builder if you're looking at doing it yourself. Talk to a few van building companies if you're looking at having it hired out, and that's going to give you an idea. Is our budget realistic, or are we like $10,000 off on this?
Number 3 is to set a realistic timeline. Figure out how much time you have to spend every single week on your van build and set a time frame that you would like to complete your van build in, and then double it. Because I guarantee it's gonna take twice as long as you think.
Especially if you're working full time and you've never done this before and you're kind of handy but not really and are gonna rely on friends who have the tools. This is kind of the call I just had. He was hoping for an 8-month build timeline. This was kind of how he defined himself. Kind of handy, doesn't really have the tools, but has friends or family who do have the tools, who do know how to do all of the stuff. So you're relying on other people's free time. That makes it tough. When Sarah and I were building our first van,
we were
working on it basically full time. We still had some client work we were doing, building websites on Squarespace for clients And we also had her father-in-law, who was my father-in-law, her dad, who was a custom home builder for 40 years, helping us part-time through the process. And it still took us almost 6 months to finish our van build. And what we have seen in our online community, I think that for a first-time DIY van builder, it's about 6 months before you start taking your first trips in a van. And that usually entails like your ceiling not being finished, your cabinets not being finished, walls probably aren't up, but you're sleeping in it, which is kind of what we did when we built our first van, because we were sleeping in it as soon as we had the cleats on the bed and we were dropping the butcher block in to make our bed platform. And then it's about a year before a van is fully finished and like ready to hit the road.
Number 4, just expect to fight somewhere along the way. It is challenging. There are a lot of man hours that go into a van build. And so just expect that sometimes you're both going to be at your wits' end and there's going to be something that comes up, something unexpected happens, you make a mistake, and
you have to go to Dixie Line and pick up more 16-foot tongue and groove or shiplap because you just effed up the last piece that you had.
And that goes along with tip number 5. Don't ask your significant other, your partner, what they finished at the end of the day, or push them to do more when it's 6 o'clock and you've been working all day, because that's what I did with Alex on our second van build, and he cut the piece of tongue and groove for our ceiling too short, and we had to go buy a whole nother piece.
Yeah, what you don't want to hear if you're the primary physical laborer on the van is you don't want somebody to come out at like 3, 4, 5 o'clock, look at the van and go, you didn't really get much done today. What'd you do? What'd you do all day today? That gets old.
Yeah. Just trust that things are getting done even when it doesn't look like it. Van builds really don't look like much for a really long time until you're about 90% done, and then it really starts to look like something, but then you have 100 things still to check off on your list to really finish it up. So it's a lot.
No
you
joke.
would think just because it's a small space, people think it goes so fast, but it really doesn't. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot that goes into these van builds. So give yourself some grace. You know, like I said, sit down with your partner, get on the same page from the get-go. Also recognize fights are going to pop up, but communicate through it. We're giving us some marriage advice here.
You got to have a go-to. Our go-to was we had like 3 restaurants around San Diego that like at the end of a really long, hard day, it was like,
wait, let's go get a beer.
We're going to go here. We're going to get a couple IPAs, eat some pizza or some Brussels sprouts or some pizza. Usually pizza. And talk about what happened and laugh and reconnect.
Yeah. It's a really fun process and it's extremely rewarding. So have fun. Don't forget to have some smiles and crack a couple beers, because that always helps at the end of a long work day. Now, we quickly wanted to talk about 5 tips for traveling with a partner in a van. If you already have finished your van build and you're hitting the road and you're traveling with your significant other or your partner, we wanted to give you guys some tips after living in our van for almost 2 years. We spent a lot of time together on the road.
We did. Life was so
You know what?
simple.
I will say the first tip is hopefully one of you enjoys driving. He loves driving and drove us everywhere. And I just got to take naps. It was great.
It's true. One of you has to just be like the primary driver.
And you know what? That actually worked for us because it gave us kind of some like solo time. I got my naps in the back of the van and you got to, you know, listen to your podcasts and just cruise.
It's true. Yeah. First step is just enjoy it.
Okay, wait, we actually have tips.
Oh, we have a list? Okay,
yeah.
Let's do the tips.
So number 1 is finding out and figuring out what it is, what comfort level you both have when it comes to finding places to sleep. Are you going to budget and actually pay for camping, or go to places like Harvest Host where they do expect you to spend some money wherever you're staying? Or are you going to try to stealth camp? 2 totally different
feelings when you lay down and go to bed at night. One, you can go to bed and have a good night's sleep. The other, you go to bed and wake up going, did I just hear a knock? Did I just hear something? What happened?
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah, so you really got to get on the same page of, are you going to be spending money because you just want the comfort of knowing no one's going to knock on your door in the middle of the night, or are you going to risk it and drive around sometimes for 30 minutes to an hour trying to find somewhere where you can stealth camp and not disturb anyone?
Yeah, because real talk, the first night we slept in our van, there, honestly, for probably the first few months, there was this weird thing where we would lay down and go to bed at night. And we in our society have this thing where, you know, we, the men, take care of the women, and we had our 2 dogs. And so I'm like, okay, I'm this almost 30-year-old guy living in a van, sleeping on the side of the road with my girlfriend.
No, that was your wife.
Fiance.
No, we
Wife?
were married.
We were married.
We were married.
Yeah, what do you know?
I think that
With
being
my
married
wife,
before you start van life, definitely 100%
So-
need to be all in.
With my wife, I am not a failure. This is a choice. It's a lifestyle choice that we're making for a while, and I'm okay with it. So maybe this will help some of you who are experiencing this right now, or when you do experience it, but realize it is a phase, and this is why it is important to have a conversation and figure out what you're comfortable with as far as sleeping goes.
Yeah, also just know if you're stealth camping, you're going to have some anxiety before your head hits the pillow. I'm just throwing that out there. It's a little stressful. As we went on in time throughout our van life journey, we actually did just start paying for camping because with dogs and everything, our dogs like to bark. So we wanted to be in a place that we knew we could sleep and the dogs could go outside in the middle of the night if they needed to. And we just felt safe.
And van life is way more known now. So
yeah, we're talking 2 years ago.
You can't be inconspicuous necessarily sleeping in your van like you could have.
No, not anymore.
Yep.
Okay, number 2 is figure out your bathroom situation. Are you gonna have a bathroom in your van or not? We highly recommend it. If you've ever watched any of our videos, we are huge fans of having an enclosed bathroom so that you have that privacy. Again, keeps the marriage alive.
Keeps the romance going.
I'm just gonna go with that. If you don't have a bathroom, what's your plan for going to the bathroom late at night? Are you just gonna have to squat if you're a girl somewhere? Not something I'm comfortable with, but to each their own, and you have to figure out, again, what's your comfort level with your bathroom situation. And that is why we decided we wanted a shower and a toilet in ours.
Yep, so be honest and have that conversation.
Also, if you know that you don't want to see your significant other on the toilet in front of you, maybe you don't have a pull-out toilet where, like Alex said in another video, you shouldn't be able to take a crap and make scrambled eggs.
At the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
You can take a crap and make scrambled eggs in the same day. It's not at the same time.
Okay, number 3 is to get out and explore. You're doing van life to see places, so don't be so obsessed with getting to the end destination of, oh, we want to go to this specific place, because you're going to miss all the places along the way. That if it's just like a cool spot, pull over and check it out. Or if you see a local brewery or restaurant you want to check out, go do it. That was one of our favorite things, was actually supporting local economies, getting out, spending our money, exploring, not just the free stuff, and yeah, just having a really fun time. We would just kind of post up in random cities sometimes for a couple days and be like, we really like this, let's stay.
Yeah, we loved hanging out at local parks. Local parks during the day are a blast and a lot of fun. Normally have really pretty views in your van. And then, yeah, go check out the local restaurants. Get some beers, get some apps.
Okay, can you tell we like beer?
And apps. And pizza.
Beer, pizza. Oh, okay. Number 4 is set work and life boundaries. If you have to work while you're on the road, make sure that you set designated times for that work. Also communicate that with your partner so that you know, hey, I've got to be on this meeting at this time, or I have this call at this time, and I've got to work from these hours. Communicate that up front so you guys can plan around that. That was something we typically would get up, go to the gym, work, and then later in the afternoon, go check out a local brewery. Again, going back to beer. This is what
we drank our way from one side of the U.S. to the other, and also a lot of Canada we drank our way through.
Highly recommend it. We had a great time, had a lot of good beers. Those were the days. Now we've got kids and a business.
Got to get my brewery t-shirt collection going again. So,
anyways,
number 5.
That is what we would do. And then we would usually just eat out at night. We did not do a lot of cooking in our van. That's just not the type of people.
We did in the beginning. We did a lot of cooking in our van in the beginning.
That's just not the type of people that we are. We don't even really do that much cooking in our own house.
We used to. Goodness, she's forgotten everything. There's even a video of us making vegan tacos up on YouTube, y'all.
We had
We basically made the same thing last night.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
with chicken. All right. And and a lot of cheese. The vegan part went out the window. I'll be honest. So...
Stop laughing.
No, it's good. Just keep laughing.
You're sick.
Gotta get it together over here.
I just can't believe we drank so much beer.
We drank a lot of beer. A lot of breweries. What's your number one brewery from our
Oh,
travels?
I'm crying. The ones in Canada.
Yeah, the ones in Canada. What was it, Woods?
I don't know.
Anyway, we'll skip that part.
Oh, actually, Petoskey.
Yeah,
Petoskey Brewing Company.
Well, Beard's Petoskey Brewing Company.
We're gonna go there this summer.
Beard's Brewing Company.
Oh, Beard's is really good.
Those are both really good.
Yeah,
Those are both in Petoskey too. Tip number 5 is take breaks. It can be fun to be in the van all the time, but it can also be a very small space. So take strategic breaks to go visit friends or family, use their showers so you get a real good shower, or book some hotel rooms or an Airbnb when you're somewhere that you know you're going to be for a little while, or when you know you need to crank and get some work done, or you need reliable Wi-Fi or something like that. Do not be afraid to take breaks. Try to build those into your van budget as well. So we are going to list these tips in a blog post down below on our website, which is built on the Squarespace platform. Pretty sure all of you are getting used to us talking about Squarespace. We have been using them for years now. All of our websites are built on Squarespace. It's a super functional, intuitive backend. You need no experience building a website before. In fact, we are going to be teaching our new assistant how to build a website on Squarespace so that she can start to create some fun blog content for you guys.
One of the other great things about Squarespace is that the blog is so easy to use. You can add tags and categories so that you can have a little SEO optimization for your blog posts, and that's all built in. So if you're ready to get started, head to squarespace.com for a free 2-week trial. And when you're ready to launch, head to squarespace.com/40 hours for 10% off your purchase of a website or domain.
Now we hope that you guys
I'm
enjoyed
still
this
crying
video.
From laughing so hard,
We wanted to share some real experience.
and talk about something different, take a little bit of a break from the build series because we have been working on our client's van, and
which we are really excited to share with you guys.
we got a lot. We're juggling all at once. So we wanted to do something different. Oh, we never even answered any questions. Should we do a quick
There's a
question?
couple questions.
How do you maintain personal time when living in a van and traveling all the time?
Good question, Mark.
So we kind of mentioned this before. Alex did a lot of driving, I did a lot of sleeping. And so to me, that was like a great break from each other because we weren't, sitting and talking all day.
Yeah.
We also, every single day, would get up and go to the gym, and we don't work out together. We would do our own separate things.
So we had headphones in. That was
I think
good
there were
alone time.
times too where it was like we go to the gym, take a shower, really have your alone time then, and then sometimes one of us would be back in the van before the other, so you kind of have your own time. But find those things that, support you and what you want to do, and don't always worry about your partner, and take that time for yourself. For us, again, it was the gym, or sometimes going to yoga. Sometimes just like getting outside, and we didn't necessarily talk.
And to be fair, Sarah and I in our entire relationship have been the kind of couple that we spend a lot of time together.
We spend every day together.
So we weren't...
That's my love language.
We were not a couple that she did her job, like went off to her job, I went off to my job, and we didn't see each other a lot. We were working together for a couple years before we got into van life. We were spending a lot of time together already. So it wasn't a huge change for us to kind of be next to each other all day like we still are, although she is crowding my shop right now.
Yeah.
I need a bigger space.
Well, I just love being around you. It's fun.
Oh. Yeah.
I do recommend, if you're gonna do van life with a partner, really love your person, okay? Because you are gonna spend a lot of time together in a small space.
It's true.
And communicate. I feel like van life brought us closer together because you are in such a small space, so.
It definitely did. And so that was actually Bianca that asked that. Mark asked, getting to a consensus on the day's events. Driving point A to point B can be an easy discussion, but the fun is what you discover on the way. How to be open to finding the nuances of our great country.
This is exactly what we were kind of talking about earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, don't be so obsessed with the destination. Enjoy the journey along the way. That sounds like a motivational quote or something.
Yeah.
But truly, that is where... have a plan, but keep it loose. Don't have so many expectations set up front. Just enjoy it, because it is just such a fun thing to just be like, let's stay here for a few days.
Yeah.
Just because you like it and you want to explore. So.
Or you met some cool people. Plans you can make them, but plans usually change in van life.
We just really didn't plan for anything other than we would try to go to places that had anytime fitness so that we could go to the gym. So we did kind of always check out, is there a gym there that we could go to?
So that was good because that kind of gave us direction, but then everything else was pretty loose along the way.
Yeah.
Including what brewery we were going to go to that day.
Now I just want to drink a beer. So anyway,
now
we got to get to real work. Thanks for watching. And if you like this, let us know. If you have any other comments or suggestions for couples that are going to be traveling in van life, leave them down below. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.